Hi, my name is Roland and welcome to my VectrexRoli show. Today I thought it is time for some Virtual Boy Extravaganza. The Nintendo Virtual Boy does not get much love, but still it is my second favorite gaming system after the Vectrex. You know, this here is a non-commercial hobby channel, so I have the freedom to show whatever I find interesting, but still I do hope that you, my viewers, also find a few Virtual Boy videos from time to time interesting. The Virtual Boy had his 20th birthday when I made this video. It came out in 1995, and on Planet Virtual Boy, the most important web portal related to the Virtual Boy, they also are celebrating that birthday with some projects there. Just in case you don't know that webpage, I will put a link in the description. Go and check that out in case you have the slightest interest in the Virtual Boy. Often people are complaining about the Virtual Boy, that it ruins your eyes and gives you headaches, and when you ask them a bit further if they even have tried the system themselves, it often turns out that they had a cousin who had a friend who has heard from his friend's mother that the Virtual Boy ruins your eyes. As long as your eyes and brain are fine and your Virtual Boy is aligned properly, you can play the thing for hours. So if somebody complains about the Virtual Boy, for me that is almost like as if a blind person would buy a Toyota car and complain then that all Toyota cars are crap because they cannot see the street while driving. Anyway, I don't want to go into that here now, as this should be more a video to celebrate the system. If you really want to know all the details, go and watch my Virtual Boy Beginner's Guide. Seriously, so far I didn't find any other video on YouTube where that whole headache issue is explained in detail, as most people that make videos either don't understand how depth perception works or they don't really care. Now I want to show you some random Virtual Boy related items from my collection, and I will not show you just my standard game collection. If you want to see that, I will link to my older videos, go and check that out. I would like to start with my modded Virtual Boy here, as I always get questions about that. Just in case you don't know, the Virtual Boy was a 3D gaming system from Nintendo, so you could play games in 3D long before the 3DS came out, and all the games were in red color, as red LEDs were being used to generate the 3D images. Talking about 3D, I uploaded also a 3D version of this video here on YouTube, so you can watch it on any 3D display that is currently supported by YouTube, like the Nintendo new 3DS handheld gaming system for example. So when you open the 3D video in the web browser on your new 3DS, you can enjoy this video here in 3D without using any annoying 3D glasses. Anyway, one of several disadvantages of the Virtual Boy was that other people could not watch your gameplay on a separate screen. Nintendo built a device called Video Boy, with which you could play Virtual Boy games on a monitor, but this was not produced for the mass market and is rare and expensive to find nowadays. On Planet Virtual Boy you will find some photos for that device. As I wanted now some solution for my retro gaming parties, that people can also watch gameplay on a separate monitor, I bought this modded Virtual Boy here from a gentleman from France that calls himself Furrtek, and he has an own webpage and YouTube channel where he shows all kinds of crazy hacks he did. If you want to know how this mod works in detail, I will link to the description on his webpage. What this modification does is that you get a 2D image of your Virtual Boy gameplay on a VGA monitor, so this means that you can play your Virtual Boy as usual in 3D and your friends can watch your gameplay on a VGA monitor in 2D. This is not the only hack out there, also other people did similar things, both for 2D output and also Anaglyph 3D, and also Furrtek just recently did a similar hack for Anaglyph 3D output. I never met him in person, but I think he's more interested in hacking things and developing stuff, and not so much in making products out of it that he would sell then. Now let's put in another game so that I can show you how the mod works. Most people would have used now a standard classic Virtual Boy game, but hey, this is the VectrexRoli show, so I try to show you stuff you might have not seen on a million other channels before. This is Fishbone, a nice little Virtual Boy homebrew game, and what you see here is the release on cartridge from UncleTusk.com. Everything from them comes in nice looking boxes with manuals that look like original Nintendo releases from back in the days, and everything is high quality. As usual, gameplay is in 3D when you look through your Virtual Boy, and there is a small LCD VGA monitor connected to the Virtual Boy. This is one of those cheap Chinese low-resolution car monitors, and this version here does not only support composite video, but also VGA. As I already mentioned, the gameplay on the monitor is in 2D, so you only see one of the two pictures created by the Virtual Boy, which is sufficient for a gaming party setup. As you might know, the Virtual Boy can show any of your favorite colors, as long as your favorite color is red, but on the VGA output you can even change the color, so there's a tiny switch on the Virtual Boy for that. So let's show you some short random gameplay footage here. You have to eat as many fish as possible. I like that game, and of course it looks much better in 3D. Theoretically, it would be possible to use the VGA signal to capture also 2D gameplay footage directly from the Virtual Boy, but the problem with VGA is that you need expensive video grabber hardware then to get a video signal in proper quality, which only would make sense for commercial video production setups, but not for a hobby retro gaming channel like mine. I do have a cheap VGA signal converter box, but the picture quality that comes out of that device is really bad, so for most of my older Virtual Boy videos I filmed directly from the Virtual Boy display, and it works as long as you know how to change the exposure time on your video camera. Otherwise your gameplay footage ends up in a flickering mess, and sometimes you can see that also on bigger YouTube channels where the people behind the channel know more about gaming than about filmmaking, and that's also a reason why often people use emulation to show gameplay footage. By the way, in case you own a Virtual Boy and you want to play that Fishbone game and you missed out the release of UncleTusk.com, you can also download the game and use it on one of the flash cards available, the Flashboy Plus or the older Flashboy. I just tell you that here, as some people still don't know about those things, as they watch the wrong retro gaming channels on YouTube. I also made a video a long time ago where you can see the flash card in action, and as I already mentioned, go and watch my Virtual Boy beginner's guide in case you are new to the Virtual Boy. The next thing I would like to show you are my repro stickers for my Virtual Boy store display unit. This store kiosk was used to promote the Virtual Boy in stores in the US, and I already made a video some while ago where I showed you that in detail. I will link to that video in case you want to see that. Here I want to focus only on the stickers you see here, which say hold here and tilt up, tilt down. And now some of my viewers might be confused and might ask, but Roland, what's so special with those stickers? Well, the whole store display unit I got was pretty complete. It even had the keys to lock the cartridge port of the Virtual Boy. Only those stickers were missing, and that's why I made repro stickers. Maybe some of you might not be aware of the possibility that you can build repros of rare stickers from photos, and this could be interesting for all kinds of collectors out there, and not only fans of the Virtual Boy. Of course, as the store kiosk units are rare, also the stickers on it are rare, and the best way to make repro stickers would be if you would find someone that makes high resolution scans for you. But the thing is that no one will remove the stickers just to put them on a scanner for you, so the next best thing would be that you find some friendly member of the community that would at least provide you with some photos of those stickers. First, let's have a quick look at the photos I got from two friendly members of the Planet Virtual Boy forum by the names of Big Mac and Doc B, and as you can see that even they tried hard to provide me with good pictures. Of course, photos are never as good as scans, as you can have lighting or color issues or reflections. So the trick is now to enhance the photos. First I corrected the perspective distortions and I also changed contrast and brightness. The most important step was to convert the bitmap photos into vector graphics to get unnecessary information out of the final pictures. I cannot show you the whole process now, but basically I used the freeware tool Inkscape to vectorize the results, and by doing that I also reduced the colors in the photo to black, white and red. This works only if the original stickers use a small set of colors, which was the case now with my stickers here. I sent the vectorized results in form of an Adobe Acrobat file to a German print shop. The stickers turned out pretty good in my opinion, and I'm quite happy with the results. So maybe you could use a similar approach in case you have missing stickers on one of your collector's items. So the next thing I want to show you is an official Nintendo add-on for the Virtual Boy, the Nintendo Earphones. Yes, believe it or not, there were original earphones available, and what is so special about them? Well, not really much. Those are only cheap standard stereo earphones with a 3.5mm stereo plug, and you can use any other stereo headphones instead. But I have to say the Virtual Boy earphones do sound a bit better than expected, but maybe that's because my expectations were very low. Those earphones can get very expensive on eBay, but sometimes you still can find some new old stock somewhere. I recently saw those earphones on playasia.com, a shop that normally sells extremely overpriced stuff, and they still had them in stock for under $10 plus shipping. So if you want one of those, go there and check if they are still available. And if you think now, wow, that crazy guy from Austria does buy some useless stuff, I can tell you that this is not really the most useless thing you can buy for your Virtual Boy collection. There is other rare stuff like pens, caps and jackets, super expensive, and when you have something like that at home, it will give you the feeling that you live in a museum. So what's my personal limit for buying useless stuff? Well, let's check out the next item then. I don't own any Virtual Boy branded jackets or hats, but I got those Virtual Boy playing cards, which are pretty useless too. As far as I know, those were playing cards you could get from Japanese Club Nintendo around 1995. Mine are still sealed and I will not open them up now as I will never use them anyway, so they will lie around here in my collection until the day I die, and then someone will come and throw them away. Yes, that's how it goes with most collector's items, I guess. Anyway, if you think that those playing cards are extremely useless, you have not seen the next item I will show you now. I don't own the biggest Virtual Boy collection on this planet. I've seen people on Facebook and internet forums that really got some weird stuff you never knew it ever existed. This here is one of my most useless items in my collection, and you must be insane if you pay as much as I paid for this. Well, I hope my wife will not watch this video here. So this item here was not really that expensive, and I bought it from a fellow Planet Virtual Boy forum member. This is a Virtual Lab branded plastic folder, and I think this was some kind of giveaway at a press conference at the Nintendo trade show in 1995 or 1996, but I could be wrong here. Virtual Lab is one of the rare Japanese titles for the Virtual Boy. Basically it is a puzzle game, and the game itself is not really that polished, let's put it like that. So that game is something for collectors and not so much for gamers. Anyway, that plastic folder here has the Virtual Lab box art on one side, which qualifies it as a wonderful and absolutely useless collector's item. But at least you could put some brochures and ads into the folder, so let's have a look at some of those. Here we see now some Japanese flyer for the space shooter game Vertical Force, a game that I really do enjoy. Nothing special, just a flyer, but hey, this video is called Virtual Boy Extravaganza. Next is a so-called GoldenEye pamphlet, and it is called like that because besides screenshots of some Virtual Boy games, it also includes a screenshot of the unreleased game GoldenEye. And there is also a screenshot for the game Wario Land, which was called Wario Cruise in that pamphlet. Now let's come to some Virtual Boy magazines from my collection. Most people, at least from the US, will know about the Nintendo Power magazines, and in issue 75 there was an extensive article about the Virtual Boy with nice looking screenshots, and if you were a subscriber of that magazine you even got some 3D glasses with it. You can find Virtual Boy related articles also in other issues, but if you like the Virtual Boy, try to get at least number 75, which is easy to find even on eBay. What is much harder to find are those Japanese fanzines here, so those were magazines that were published privately. I don't know much details about those, only that there were different issues about different game consoles. I got two about the Virtual Boy here, and there was even one about the Vectrex, which I would also like to get one day. They tell you about the system and the games, and the manga ladies on the covers show you with their hands which issue is number 1 and which is issue 2. I think issue 1 was released in 1996 and issue 2 around 1998. The last and most interesting magazine I want to show you today is the Virtual Boy issue of the Famitsu magazine with 100 pages of Japanese Virtual Boy goodness. That magazine alone would be worth a whole separate video in my opinion. Very interesting to see, even in case you don't understand Japanese language. I hope you still don't have enough from Virtual Boy items, because now I will show you one of the small Japan exclusive store displays delivered to store owners before the Virtual Boy launch. It came bundled with a Virtual Boy system, several demo games and assembly instructions. Maybe you saw my video about the US store display unit. This here is much smaller than that and it does not have the fancy 3D logo on top. I will only show you the separate parts as it would take too long now to build it up. Maybe one day I will make a proper video about it if there is enough interest from your side. In the meantime you can also watch a video from a fellow YouTuber by the name of Speedyink who showed one of those small store displays, and I will put a link to his video in the description text below. The system itself came in the so-called Mosaic box version, and there were even power adapter tabs in a similar box design. Often you see the Mosaic box Virtual Boy on eBay without that special power tab and without the store kiosk stand. The games for the Japanese store displays were standard game releases. The only visible difference was a special sticker on the box. That was slightly different for the US demo games. Those were also standard game releases, but there they used a special cartridge label stating it is a demo version of the game. At the end of this video I would like to show you my self-built Super Nintendo controller adapter for the Virtual Boy. Some while ago I got a homebrew game called Hyper Fighting, which is basically a Street Fighter 2 port, and I showed this already on video. I will link to that video in case you want to check that out. And at this point I want to say thank you to countless news blogs and retro gaming news portals worldwide for stealing my content and cutting away the VectrexRoli logo from my video and still images. They reused my gameplay footage for that game as it had quite good video quality, but they forgot then to mention where they got it from. But at least most of the bigger, more well-known retro gaming news portals did mention the origin of the content. Anyway, in the manual for Hyper Fighting they mentioned that you can also use a Super Nintendo controller, and I was curious to see if it would work. I found on the web some pin description for the Super Nintendo and Virtual Boy controller connections, and obviously they both seem to work quite similar, so I connected the relevant pins and built this adapter here, and I didn't invest any time to let it look nice, so this was more a quick hack. I used also some regulated power supplies set to 9 volts DC to power the Virtual Boy, as the Super Nintendo adapter did not have that, of course. If you live in the US, you also could use a good old Super Nintendo power adapter instead. European Super Nintendo adapters would not work, as they have AC output instead of DC. The adapter works fine, but it doesn't really make me a better Hyper Fighting player. I suck at fighting games in general, but you know, I assume if you were a Street Fighter 2 expert on the Super Nintendo back in the days, this hack would help you playing Hyper Fighting, as you are more used to the Super Nintendo controller then, I guess. You can also connect nice Super Nintendo controllers with micro switches by using the adapter, but those controllers take a lot of space behind the Virtual Boy. So that was my Virtual Boy Extravaganza video, and I hope you did enjoy it. Check out the Planet Virtual Boy webpage, and there is also a Virtual Boy group on Facebook. Find links for that below. Please like, share and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching.